Hola, hello, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Welcome to one more video of Portuguese, and my name is Mia and I'm a qualified teacher. Maybe you already know me. If not, make sure to check out my website learn-portuguese.org. And yes, today I come to you with a brand new video about... check it out. So today I come to you to help you learn Portuguese vocabulary faster and effectively. So I know that learning vocabulary is one of the things that students most struggle with. Some people think, oh, I just don't have enough memory, or I'm too old for this, or I don't have the language gene. I hear so many things, but really don't think this, because this is not true, okay? There is no such thing as a language gene, and it's never too late to learn a language. A lot of my students are already a bit older, and they are successful and they can do it. So can you. And I would like to give you some tips to help you then learn vocabulary faster and in a way that it will be stored permanently in your memory, and you won't, gasp for words the next time that you're speaking with a native speaker or that you're speaking with someone in Portuguese. Okay, so the first trick I want to tell you about, and this is super duper important, is you have to create emotional connections with those words. What do I mean by this? So imagine you have a word, right? And a word is just a word. It's just a sound, basically. In another language, you'll not have anything or any thought related to that sound, because many times you never heard that sound and you have no idea what it means. So your first approach will be, okay, let me check what it means. So let me give you an example of when I was back then learning German. German is quite a hard language, right, to learn for many people, and I was no exception. It was quite hard to learn for me. But then I started kind of studying and seeing how people and teachers were helping their students achieve results and remember vocabulary and all of this. And I came across a really cool technique that now I am going to pass on to you. So I'm gonna use an example. I had a word that I had to learn, and it was the word tisch, okay, or tisch. It's more like tisch, okay, der Tisch. So this means table in German, and I had to make an effort to remember this word and to recollect it when I needed it. So I tried to make a little story about this word, and that's how you can create this emotional connection. So I heard the word, and then I thought about another word in my own language, Portuguese, that would sound kind of similar to tisch. So I don't know why, but the word that came to my mind was triste. Triste. So I know it's not exactly the same spelling or the same sound, but it's kind of close enough. At least it was for me. So what matters is what is good for you and how you will remember it. So tisch, I thought about the word triste in Portuguese. And even, when children are small here in Portugal, they have somehow difficulties saying the word, the R. Yes, it's not only you. A lot of kids have problems when they are growing up saying the word R. So, and it's a normal process. Like when they are 3 years old, they many times will kind of leave the R apart. So with this word was the same thing. Instead of saying triste, children will say tischt. Okay, tischt, tischt. So this word is even more approximate to the word tisch in German. And so what did I think? Okay, now I have a word that is similar to the word in German, at least in my brain it's similar, and I need to make a story about these two words and relate them somehow, that then at the end I'll be able to recollect and to remember this word much better. So what did I think about? I thought about a child, a young child, sitting on a table, okay, and this young child is sad, because by the way, triste in Portuguese, so the similar word to the word tisch in German, triste means sad, okay? So I thought about a child sitting on a table with a sad face, so triste, right? She was sad, with a sad face and saying, estou triste, triste, estou triste. Estou is I am, and triste is then how a young child would say triste, so would say sad in Portuguese. So I would say estou triste. And I don't know, but like, I imagine this child sitting on a table, so the table is the word that I need to remember in German, right? And it is in my story because of that. And the child is saying, estou triste, I am sad. She's saying this in Portuguese, childish Portuguese, and then immediately by remembering, estou triste, tish, that's the word, you know, so I created an emotional attachment to this word by creating this story in my head, and I will be able to recollect it much faster the next time that I need to use it. So, how can you do that for Portuguese as well? Well, in the same way, you see a word in Portuguese, let's say triste, sad, and you need to remember it. If your language is English, you can use an English word that is similar to the Portuguese word triste. You would have to think about it. And you can then make a story with these two words or relating these two words somehow. You can be as creative as you want, you know, there is no limits, it's your own head, and anything that works for your head and for your memory, it's okay, alright? So sometimes the weirder the better, because you're gonna remember it even faster. So yeah, you can do this with English and Portuguese, or with Portuguese and any other language, your own language, your native language. You can do however it's best for you. But this is really the key. Find words that is like similar to the word you are trying to remember in Portuguese, and then create a story relating these two words, okay? But you might think, okay, but sometimes there are words that I can't really find any similarity with any other words in my language or in English or whatever. Yeah, that's true. In that case, what you need to do is actually deconstruct the word. So I give an example in the article I wrote about this topic, and I'm gonna tell you now. There is a word which is Staubsauger. Any German speakers might want to correct me in my pronunciation if I'm not doing it correctly, 100% correctly. But anyways, I did not know this word, and I found it so hard, you know, to remember it. Staubsauger means vacuum cleaner in English, but also I couldn't find any word that in Portuguese that would be anything similar to this word. So what did I do? I kind of dissected this word in three. So I then ended up with Stau, actually in two. Stau and then Sauger. Okay, Staubsauger. Okay, so I had two words, right? I kind of, or two sounds. So what I did then was imagining Sauger, so the second part of the word, was the name of a German guy that sold vacuum cleaners. Why did he sell vacuum cleaners? Because the word I'm trying to remember is vacuum cleaner, okay? So, he sold vacuum cleaners. And then I had the first part of the word, which was stau. And actually, this sounds a lot like the Portuguese está. That means there is someone, okay? Or literally is the. So, now I only had to use this sentence in my story to remember the whole word. So then we have sauger, and he's a guy, a German guy who sells vacuum cleaners. Okay, perfect. And how can I incorporate the first part of the word into this story? So I imagine that I'm home, okay, and there is a friend with me, and actually this friend hears someone knocking at the door, and she goes there, opens the door, and I'm still in the room, and it's actually sauger, so our German guy that sells vacuum cleaners. And then my friend comes to me and say, hey, Staubsauger na porta. This means sauger is at the door. This means that this German guy who sells vacuum cleaners, and he's named sauger, is at the door. Staubsauger a porta. Okay, so here you have it. I just created a story where I incorporated Staubsauger, okay, and now I have this emotional connection because I think of Staubsauger, and then I think about, okay, who is this guy? What's this story about? Ah, yeah, about the guy that sells vacuum cleaners. Okay, Staubsauger means vacuum cleaner. I remember it. I have an emotional connection to this word now. So, you see, it can be quite fun actually to do. I know you might think, this can take so much time, you know. Yes, at the beginning it's likely going to take more time, and then your brain, since it's like any other muscle, is going to become accustomed to do this, and it's going to be faster and faster to do this, and you're actually going to end up having fun. At least that's what happened with me. I find it very funny to do this, and I like telling stories. So yeah, and you're like, you know, you don't even have to say the stories. You can write them, go back to them, you know, but you're not obliged to it. You can just think about them and, you know, be creative and have fun, you know, and then you're going to be able to recollect your words much faster. Okay, so this is the first trick: create emotional connections with the words you want to learn, okay, through stories. All right. And I want to take advantage of this now here to tell you that that's exactly what I'm trying to do with my new membership course, which is story time, you know, because it's a little bit different, because I was the one writing the story and you're just listening to the story and you're asked to interact with this story, you know, ask and answer questions. I'm gonna make a video about story time, and to make a little exercise with you and help you understand what story time is really about. But I just want to tell you now in this video that in story time you're gonna have these stories made for you, okay? It's slightly different. You're just going to be listening to a story and you're going to be asked to interact with the story, and this is also going to create emotional connections between you and this story, and you and the words that are in this story and the expressions and everything, okay? Because it's even better if you can do this exercise with whole sentences or with more than one word together, because then you hear them in context as well, and that's always good to do, okay? It's always good for your learning process, and you're gonna learn much faster. You're gonna end up learning grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and you're gonna enhance your speaking, your listening, your writing, and everything naturally without having to really go through the theory and so on. If you are a person who likes to go through the theory, I also have the other courses, and they are still fun and engaging, you know, and you can do them in combination with story time. That's also really cool, and my students are having great results. But you can also just focus on story time if you're more of a person that likes to learn while doing, because I think this is really gonna help you a lot, okay? And so don't forget to check my video about story time as well, and this exercise that I want to do with you. But yeah, so don't forget, number one way of learning vocabulary faster is to create emotional connections with the words you want to learn or with the expressions you want to learn, okay? The second thing I want to tell you about is about this super cool app called Anki. I have no affiliation with this app, nothing. So I'm telling you this because it's a cool tool, and I think it can really help you with your language learning process. Anki is kind of a flashcard app. It's gonna show you like how it works is that it's gonna help you retain the vocabulary and the expressions and so on by showing flashcards to you at the pace that you that you request. So basically you can make the flashcards yourself. Imagine I want to learn Tish, so I write Tish in a flashcard, and I put the meaning of that flashcard in my own language, so that's mesa, or you can put in English table or whatever your language is. And you do this with many words, many expressions, and then the app is gonna show you flashcards all scrambled, and you're gonna try to remember those words, okay? So you can add audio and video and, text, a lot of things. And then imagine you see a flashcard. Imagine I already know Tish. So the app's gonna give you 3 options. You can choose to see it again. You can choose to see it like in a week, and you can choose to see it in a month again, okay? Because you're supposed to be studying daily these flashcards, or at least weekly. So you can tell the app if you already know the word, or if you don't know the word, if you need to check it again, if you don't need to check it again. Anyways, it's a really cool app, and I advise you to get it. The desktop version is for free, and then you have it as an app as well for iOS and Android, so for your phone and iPad and so on. And this, I think you have to pay a small fee, but I think it's worth it. And if you have a desktop, you don't even have to pay. So that's a really cool way of retaining vocabulary. I'm gonna link Anki in like a video down below, so you can check it out, check more information about it. And yes, so the second tip is use Anki or any kind of flashcards to help you retain vocabulary. If you are not a person that likes flashcards like in electronic flashcards, you can also have the normal flashcards. It's not so ecological because you're gonna spend paper, but anyways, you can write in post-its or so on and put it all over your house, and then you can see it when you pass through the flashcards, and maybe it will also help you remember. So basically these are my tips for you, but of course you are more than welcome to explore everything and to see what works best for you. Just don't give up. Know that there is no such thing as the language gene, and you will be able to learn vocabulary as well as other people if you just put the work and if you just have fun, because that's the best way to learn, to be in a relaxed or to learn in a relaxed manner, okay? So I want, as always, to ask you to give me a thumbs up if you've liked this video, and share this video with people you think might benefit from it. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications when I post more videos like this. And leave me a comment if you like this video. And yeah, just let me know if you already use Anki, and if you find this idea of creating emotional connection with the words a cool idea. Alright, I'll see you soon, and beijinho!